Welcome to another World Sprout event. My name is David Noel. I am tonight's host of this World Sprout event, and I'm very excited to invite a very special guest to speak with us tonight, Akbar Suteja from Indonesia. Akbar is an Indonesian videographer, storyteller, director, and producer. He creates stories, documentaries, travel videos, and many other forms of digital content. Akbar received the British Council and Arthur Guinness Foundation Community Award for Journalism in 2013, and he's worked with many different organizations on really helping them to tell their story through film. And I was lucky enough to meet Akbar actually online pretty recently, and he is going to share with us tonight about some of the myths, the beliefs, and the traditions that Indonesians practice. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Akbar. Welcome to World Sprout.
Thank you. Hi, thank you, David. I'm still so freaking nervous right now. Hello, I'm Akbar and I'm from Indonesia. I'm in Bandung actually, maybe 3 hours from Jakarta, our capital city. And for you guys who don't still have no idea where is Indonesia, maybe you've ever heard Bali. Bali is a part of Indonesia. That's Indonesia. Now we're gonna having a little bit this, maybe we can call it discussion about the myths for you guys. Maybe in Indonesia you will see how our people is more believe the myth than logic. Let me show you the videos. Hey, wait, share screen first. Before the materials, this is because Indonesia, before the religion came into Indonesia, we still believe the existence of the Holy Spirit, maybe in the trees, in the cave. So we believe the Holy Spirit will protect all of the thing in the earth. And then the religion come in with the invader from Portuguese, and then from the traders from India, and we know how the God and then the other religious teaching like that, but we still believe the power in the nature. And then so we know the thing called Pamali, because in our world, in Indonesia, Pamali, maybe we can say it prohibition or restriction to avoid because of consequences they have. Pamali is usually told by the older generation to the younger generation. That's how our ancestors teach their children. Because the method of our ancestors is to to make the children scared. If the children scared, they will strict to the they will scare, so they will avoid the things. But if we see the logically, there's a reason why there is Pamali. I think that all of the Pamali things can be explained by logical. But in our tradition, making children scare is the most, maybe I think is the most effective way to teach them. That's why Pamali does exist in Indonesia. I will show you maybe 10 Pamali that exist in Indonesia. Number one, don't wear any umbrellas. This why the pregnant people should bring scissors in Indonesia. There's a myth. The pregnant women have to bring the scissors. Top 10 Pamali in Indonesia. A lot of them maybe will believe the supernatural things to make children scared, to make them do what that their parents tell them. And there's a lot of things the probate in the night we can do, just like if the sun goes down. When I was a kid, my mom always called me to come on, come outside, come inside, don't be outside, or you will kidnapped by Kalong Wewe. That's the most common Pamali in my child world. We were scared because, but if we look back to our ancestors, there's still no electricity facility. Maybe if we play in the night, we can some maybe other bad guy will kidnap us, or we can lost because there's no lighting facility. It's too dark outside. Just like that. About Nyiro Kidul, I think it's more than Pamali. I think it's a myth. Still now, there's still the people of South Beach still believe the existence of Nyiro Kidul. Maybe there's a 3 ceremonies to grateful to the Nyiro Kidul, because when Islam came to Indonesia, the method is with the culture. So if you go to Indonesia, you can see the Muslim, which is there's a religion, but they still believe the axis of the, maybe we can say, Nyiro Kidul, and then the other superpower things like that. And then about, I think the different in our culture is the consequences. I can see the Western people more believe the bad luck than supernatural things. It's like if you break the glass, a mirror, you will having a bad luck. Open the umbrella in the room or in the house will bring you bad luck. Black cat will bring you bad luck. I think our people don't believe the bad luck. We believe the supernatural things. Don't whistle in your house, or someone else will repeat it, or bring someone else to the home. That's the difference. Ghost, and then Holy Spirit is the most consequences if we do the Pamali things, just like that. Because the our ancestors still believe. Sorry, in Indonesia, there's a lot of culture, a lot of ethnics. but most of us still believe the Pamali. It's still our our way to educate or tell our children, because yeah, it's hard uh, to make Indonesian people think logic when they were young, just like that, with the culture and then the information. I think Pamali is the most effective way. It's a bad way, but uh, for the good reason, I think, because we we're still uh, far away from technology, how information still misinform us. That's the thing that still happen in Indonesia right now. Just like the logic thing, if we at the corner of the road, we have to hang the horn to avoid an accident. But in their way, if you don't hang the horn, the Holy Spirit will angry or make you having an accident. People more believe that in our village, maybe in some other place in Indonesia, because there's a lot of island in Indonesia. There's still, if you go to Gorontalo or go to another remote place, it makes me feels like uh, it brings me back to maybe 20 or 30 years ago, with the no signal, and then there's no great facilities like the road. We can still see a jungle and then a snake inside the people. That's why the family or supernatural thing always exists in Indonesia, I think. And then maybe you can. Is there any question about the Pamali or the myth in Indonesia, or you want to compare the myth in your place and Indonesia? Maybe we can talk about that.
Thank you so much, Akbar. Definitely, I think we're going to get a lot of questions. And it's too bad we should have had this event during the month of October, because here in the U.S., this is when we have Halloween, and I think it'd
Yeah.
be good timing. Now we're all in the Christmas spirit, so we had to backpedal. Yeah, that was really cool. And so, a quick question for me. So, do you think that Pamali is do you see it just as strong as it always was, or do you think with how much technology there is now and social media, are the younger generations still practicing Pamali, or do you think that it's at risk of disappearing in some ways?
Okay, so because basically it's the way of our ancestors to educating their children, because we apply more a scare way than logical. Some family are still hurt till now, but uh, as we get older and older, and now the logic reason, maybe some will still to make people scared, just like don't sit in a doorway or you will be single in your whole time, or you will spend your rest of life with the single moment, just like that. We know that's just a pamali, but we still make it jokes, we still make it fun, and then for children we can make them scare. You have to go home before sun goes down, or your kolong wewe will kidnap you. They will scare and then follow what we want. It's like that. Family still exists till now, but I think uh, because it's our habit to educate our child. We know that there's no way kolong wewe. There's no way kuntil anak if a pregnant woman must bring sister because it's to protect them from a ghost called kuntilanak. The appearance like a woman with long hair and with white dress, just like that. For some old people, some of them still believe because they think it's the part of our culture. That's what our ancestors do to us, just like they're teaching us. So we have just to uh, we want we don't want it to make Pamali disappear because we still we still need it because it's I think it's a legacy for all children. Maybe I can say Pamali is a legacy for our children. Maybe when they're children, it to scare it makes to scare them, but when they grow up, they will know that is a logic thing beyond Pamali.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you for that answer. And I want to read one comment from Crystal in Houston. She says, Akbar, you make me want to go to Indonesia. Your family structure seems so positive.
Thank you. You should come, yeah. But please don't. Before you go to Bali, you have to visit Jakarta, Bandung, and maybe Yogyakarta. You can steal the real culture of Indonesia. Because if you go to Bali, I think a lot of Western thing in Bali. But if you maybe you see the beach style in Bali like bikinis and then surfing, I think it's a common thing in Bali. But if you go to Yogyakarta, uh, if you saw a girl with tank tops or hot pants, I think it's a weird thing in Yogyakarta because our culture. I can say if you go to Indonesia, please come to Jakarta or Bandung or Jogja before you go to Bali. Maybe I can say that.
That's great advice. Is anybody else here in the audience? Does anybody have a question? Feel free to just ask. If multiple people ask at the same time, I may ask you to just raise your hand. But for now, if somebody wants to shoot a question over, feel free.
Okay.
I think Akbar, I like to share something here.
Okay.
Indonesia and India has a lot of similarity on this bit. So we also believe don't cut your nails off in the evening. Don't sweep your floor in the evening. Don't sit on those steps. If you see the black cat cross your way, you just need to cancel your plan. It's a bad luck. and the same thing, you have to get home before it gets dark.
Yeah.
For the kids because India faced the same situation back in days where there was no lights on those rural villages, and so they used to. This is sort of used to be probably to scare these kids to get home earlier, but I think it's just a precaution or make them aware instead of a scare. Just do the right thing.
Yep.
And so we have a lot of similarity then.
Yeah, I think because our parents think it will take more time if they share the logic thing. Why you can't go home when the sun goes down? It will take a lot of time and to explain their children. That's why, okay. Maybe you can use the most effective things, make them scared. Okay, well,
Yeah,
oh, where we go,
because
Mel?
back on those days there was no night shifts, but now you're gonna work at night, so
Yeah.
it's just different now.
Yeah, I'm a night worker actually. So if I still believe to the Pamali thing, maybe I won't go home every day. It's like this.
And I like to share one of the weird thing what we follow here, that if there is a junction across the roads and four different roads at the same place, at some point of the time at 12 in the morning and 12 at the night, you don't say let's go up there, because that will bring you a ghost with you. I
Okay.
never tried, but that That's what we believe.
Okay, but because of the Pamali of the mystical thing or supernatural things, uh, the our people still scared to ride a bike, motorcycle in the night or in the middle of night because they are more scared they will bring another person in their motorcycle. Then I will be some maybe bad guy can rob me or just like that. I think it's funny when teenagers still believe the supernatural things because supernatural thing in Indonesia still is the most watched content till now. It's like
Oh.
what I showed you before. Just another some random guy with the some random spirit, and then they interview it. They want to know the ancestor of this place. The people used to be a medium for the spirits, and then they interview it for they
We
do it for some purpose, for interview purpose, for entertain purpose, and we still believe that thing. Still top three, the most entertained thing in Indonesia, supernatural
yeah,
thing.
we also in India have a lot of priests and a lot of uh, haunted sites, a lot of very famous haunted sites. So we believe in supernatural. I think everybody in the world they just probably believe something different, but they all believe it.
Yeah,
Yep,
because
that's it from me. Thanks, Akbar. That was really interesting, man.
thank you from Indonesia.
Is there anybody else with any questions for Akbar?
I had a quick question, Akbar. Thanks so much for presenting. You mentioned, or it was mentioned in the beginning, that you're a storyteller and you make travel videos. And I was just curious, when did you learn that that was a talent of yours, storytelling?
Okay, let's throw back to maybe in 2013. I participate the it called community journalism competition. Documentary. It's a documentary festival or competition for the amateur. I was in the end of my college, and then okay, let's participate. Let's learn the new thing about videos because before I'm a storyteller, just like now I'm just a student with a freelance videographer job to record a wedding ceremonials and then birthday party just like that. But when I learned the storytelling in 2013, I think it changed my life. And then our mentor invite me to join his office. So after I graduate, I went to Jakarta and joined to the office, and I learned many things in storytelling, just like how I interview, how I build the story, how I make the most important thing, but still entertaining. And then that there's a lot of things makes me love to this job. I can meet a lot of new people. I can learn many culture. I can send to the remote area, which is Indonesian people still don't know that that it still exists in Indonesia. If you if you go to Bali or ever go to Bali, have been to Bali, maybe you can see just like the beach or the other tourism things. But if I go to Bali, I have to dig the the culture just like that. I can slept in the local people's house to get my data, to get the facts. I think that what makes me love this genre of videography things.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you, Zoe.
Do we have any more questions from the audience at all?
Okay, is there any question or?
So, and while we're waiting, I've got a quick question I'll ask you as well. So, Akbar, I know in Indonesia, obviously, it's a country made up of literally thousands of islands. And people have been on those islands throughout human history, developing their own cultures, languages, et cetera. And it's really been what, I guess, in the last maybe 60 or 70 years that Indonesia has been a nation of all of those islands. And so I guess my question is, as a filmmaker and storyteller, I would imagine you would have a lot of stories to tell just in your own country. But do you see, with Pamali specifically and some of these superstitions, do you see a lot of differences across the various parts of Indonesia and across the different regions?
Okay, if we talk about the regions, the top 10 Pamali I've shared to you is the most famous Pamali all around Indonesia. Maybe the different things of Pamali or myth Indonesia. For the example, the Nyirorokido, it's from the southeast of Java. In another place, maybe in Sulawesi or in Borneo, there's a different, maybe we can say, powerful Holy Spirit, just like that. But when I talk to my another friend, he's a Batak from North Sumatra, and then I asked him, Pamali in your region or in your ethnic? And the answer is still there's still between that top 10 Pamali. But what makes the difference is the myth in the region, because every island and then every ethnic, every ancestor have I can say have their paranormal experience, and they tell a story to their children, and their children tell a story to the grandchildren and to great grandchildren. That makes a urban legend. What makes the difference about the region is Pamali. Maybe you can say Pamali is common in Indonesia, but every region has their own urban legend. Maybe I can say that.
Thank you. Any other questions, guys, from the audience? Feel free to ask.
Hai. Halo, selamat pagi.
Pagi.
Ya, selamat pagi from Pacitan. Selamat pagi is good morning.
Yeah,
good morning in bahasa. Yeah.
Okay, I feel so embarrassed. There's an Indonesian person in here.
No, your English is perfect.
No,
Okay,
no, that's not true. Okay,
okay. So Akbar, what about personally, from your point of view, do you still believe on those, what is it, Pamalis? Cause I think it most of the Pamalis engraved in our minds since we were young, since we were kids. Yeah, so we have to obey our parents and we listen to them by Pamali. So I think if I have children, I will use both. I will, what is it? Tell them the logic why they have to um, stop playing outside when it gets dark,
Yeah.
logically, and then I also use the Pamali as the what is it, very effective way to teach me back days when I was young. What about that? Do you personally still believe on those Pamalis? That's all. Thank you.
I think okay, Uri, thank you. Thank you from Bandung to Pacitan. Okay, I stopped believing with family maybe after I got my ID card when I was 17 or maybe earlier when I start to stop to believe the supernatural things in like family. But if I teach my child about how or make him obey my words, I think maybe will be back when I was kid when my mother told me about the family. Maybe we can make a fun moment with my wife about maybe we can way to our child to know to maybe it's a legacy to our children because one day they will understand why he can't play after sun goes down, and then why you can do this, why you can do that. They will know the logical thing, but I think it's the part of introduce the Pamali to our child. Maybe in when they are kids, maybe 3 or 5, we can tell them the Pamali things, and I think now with the I don't know with the information, maybe 5 or 10 years later, the communication or the information media will be better. He will learn by himself about the family things, why we stop them playing when the sun goes down, and then why he can't whistling in the night or play umbrella inside house. Maybe it's how we still keep the family for our child and grandchild and our great great grandchild, just like that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Uri.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Hi. No, no. I just want to add about your first question about the Christmas spirit in our neighborhood. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little. Yeah, it's a little bit different in Indonesia when most of our neighbors are Muslims, but my family celebrates Christmas, so I have a huge family, and some of them are Muslims, but many of them are Christians. So we had a traditions. Yeah, we had a traditions. We call it mudik. Mudik is pulang
Yeah,
kampung.
pulang
Yeah,
kampung.
so we
We go back
we
to
spend
our
holidays. Yeah, we spend holidays in our grandparents.
yeah,
So during Lebaran or Idul Fitri,
Idul Fitri.
yeah,
Eid.
Eid Mubarak. Yes, Eid Mubarak. And during Christmas, we had some kind of what is it? Festive, and also
Oh, it's a tradition.
yes, it's a tradition. So my family is a little bit what is it? So we spend 2 times big holidays
Yeah.
during Eid Mubarak and also for Christmas. So yes, in our house we decorate um trees. I haven't finished it yet, but uh, unfortunately, for the last 2 years, we cannot celebrate Christmas in church. So it's because of the pandemic. So we had to, yes, we had to celebrate only with our close family and neighbors. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Can you imagine the Christmas trees in summer? Maybe you can imagine like that in Indonesia.
Right. Well, thank you so much. I know there's a lot of really great discussion. I know I want to read one last comment, and then we're actually coming to the end of our talk. So Earl says, I bet many superstitions result from lessons that are important in a certain time and place. But as time passes, the context changes, but that superstition persists and goes on. Would you agree with that, Akbar?
Okay, I have a question this out from the last. Okay. I think just like what I say, the first superstition is part of you know, our culture. Yeah. Wait. No, my laptop. Okay. Yes, there always be a superstitions in our neighborhood, our family, our life. But I think how we believe it, and if we will older of me will laugh what I was believe when I was a child, how I believe there is a ghost when the sun goes down, and then why I can't play the umbrella, and then how I avoid to wear a green t-shirt or green short in the beach when I went to the South Beach. Maybe uh, now I can say I still laughing myself when I was believing that. But just like you said, the superstition always persists. There will be always persisting. It's a I can say it's a bad bad way to teach our children, but behind that, that is the most effective to bring our children in a good way. I can say that.
Thank you so much, Akbar. This has been such an interesting discussion, and I hope everybody got a lot out of it. If anybody would like to connect with Akbar, I am happy to include his website in the World Sprout platform. So I would encourage you all, if you have any questions, or if you ever go to Indonesia, if you need some film work and some work done, please consider him a resource. And Akbar, just thank you so much for sharing with us tonight and during your early morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's an honor to tell a story, our many story with you guys. I'm still my hand's still shaking for your information. it's it's a great moment. I can say it's a great moment. My first experience. It's been a long time. I don't having English conversation because of the pandemics. I think it's a great moment with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just as a final closing note for everybody, this Saturday, we're actually going to a new part of the world. So yesterday we were in India with Ram, who's on the call today. We talked with Akbar in Indonesia. And on Saturday, we're going down to Mexico, or at least down for us here in the US. And we're going to learn about the food in Mexico, specifically Sonoran food. So if there are any Mexican food fans out there, that's definitely an event you'll want to make. So again, thank you so much, Akbar. Thank you everybody for attending, and we will catch you in the future. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.